The origin and etymology of the Asante saying Prɛmoo Ato is quite fascinating. One of the most intriguing exhibits at the Kumase Military Museum is an old British 75mm field gun, manufactured by the Parry-Martin Company. This name, Parry-Martin, sometimes rendered Martin-Parry, emerged from a merger between two American firms. Archival images of Parry Manufacturing Company in Indianapolis, historical photos of Martin Truck and Body Corporation in Pennsylvania, old photographs of early 20th century American manufacturing companies, the Parry Manufacturing Company of Indianapolis, Indiana. This field gun, bearing the inscription Parry-Martin, became more than a mere weapon of war. It entered Asante cultural memory. The gun was traditionally fired at 12 noon each day, and the reverberating sound became a signal of midday across Kumasi and its surrounding towns. Growing up, I recall my grandmother's familiar expression whenever it was said that the time was around noon, Prɛmoo Ato. For her, and for many in Asanteman, this was not only a temporal marker but also a cue. Midday had come, and preparations for the evening meal could begin. Linguistically, the expression has a fascinating etymological trajectory. The Asante tongue reshaped the English name Parry-Martin into Primo, a localized interpretation that better suited TWI phonology. So the full idea was Parry-Martin tuo no ato, which, means the Parry-Martin gun has been fired. Over time, this phrase was kind of shortened and domesticated, eventually becoming the widely used saying Prɛmoo Ato. So what started, really, as just the sound of a colonial field gun at noon, was eventually absorbed into the Asante lexicon and folklore as a cultural marker of time. And honestly, this isn't an isolated phenomenon at all. Asante history is, in fact, full of examples of this kind of linguistic appropriation. For example, the British Asante War of 1873 was popularly called the Sagrenti War, which is actually a local adaptation of the name of the British commander Sir Garnet Wolseley. These examples illustrate a broader cultural principle. The Asante, like many African peoples, indigenized foreign words, fitting them naturally into the rhythms of their own tongue and worldview. As a German colleague once remarked when, he was mocked for his pronunciation of English words, "We Germans pronounce foreign words in the way they fit onto the German tongue." In the same spirit, Asanteman pronounced Parry-Martin as Primo, and in doing so made it its own. The expression Prɛmoo Ato is more than a quaint linguistic relic. It is a testament to the Asante genius for cultural adaptation. What was originally the daily thunder of a colonial canon has been transformed into a phrase of everyday speech, still used more than a century later. It demonstrates how Asante people did not simply endure colonial impositions, but actively reinterpreted and reinscribed them within their cultural and linguistic universe. Just as Sagrenti War rebranded an imperial invasion into a memory anchored in Asante tongues, so too did Prɛmoo Ato transform the sound of foreign artillery into a marker of domestic life. These expressions remind us that language is not merely a tool of communication but also a weapon of resilience and memory. In the Asante context, every word carries history, and Prɛmoo Ato remains a resonant echo of the ways Asanteman negotiated, absorbed, and redefined the colonial encounter.